I'm Mark Rutherford. Again, I want to say that I'm Mark Rutherford. I'm an attorney in Indianapolis. Now, one thing that I want you to pay attention to is that I told you I'm Mark Rutherford. Okay, you'll learn about what all that means at the very end of this session. Okay? And I'm an attorney in Indianapolis with a law firm called Thrasher, Bushman, Griffith, and Vogel. I also have a political consulting group called Mark W. Rutherford and Associates. That's the Eagle thing. And also I am chairman of Atlas Liberty PAC. Atlas Liberty PAC is a libertarian PAC. A little bit more about my background. Used to be state chair, state of Indiana. Used to be on the Libertarian National Committee. Used to be. And right now, I'm still involved with libertarian stuff. Still go to meetings and stuff like that. But one of the benefits of all my activity is that I am chairman of the Indiana Public Defender Commission. Many of you know what that is and know the story behind it. Some of you don't know behind that. But Indiana has a really neat thing, and that is for a lot of boards that the governor has appoints, that city councils appoint, etc., you have to have some of your opposition parties involved in it. And the law basically says that for the Indiana Public Defender Commission, the governor appoints 3 people, only 2 of which can come from his party. So that left one position open. Well, because libertarians have ballot access, we're treated by that law the same as Democrats and Republicans. So I was honored to have Governor Daniels decide that he'd rather have a libertarian on the commission than a Democrat. Now, my Democrat friends found that awful and think it's horrible, but that was the result. And that was one of the benefits of being active Libertarian Party, because we're trying to do and make changes and to do change. And this leads into a PAC. What is a political action committee? That's what Atlas Liberty is. It's a PAC, and it's a federal PAC. And the Libertarian Party, because of our size, because of our relative youth, and we're only 35 years old, and you think about it, that's really not that long for a political movement, an organized political movement. There are a lot of ways that you can organize things, that you can do things. And they're available in Kentucky, they're available in Indiana, they're available federally. Every state law is different on political action committees, so I'm just going to talk about them generically. Federal law treats them differently than state law does. But what's a political action committee? A political action committee is basically an organization that supports candidates. That's a real simple way to do it. And we raise money to support candidates. Under federal law, if I'm looking to raise money to help candidates, I can either be the candidates committee. I can't be a national party. As unconstitutional as that may be, that's what BICRA says and has been upheld by 5-4 vote of the Supreme Court. But if I go out there and start doing that, and I may need to register as something, a political action committee, my group does that. I've got to tell the government about it. Now, there are things called 527s that are federally oriented. Your state may have different things on it. But once you start supporting candidates, these campaign election laws start affecting you. So you organize these groups, one, to keep the election authorities from finding you and maybe even putting you in jail. So look at political action committees when you're starting to support candidates and you have nothing else involved, and whether you really need to do that. And political action committee, though, can raise money. They have limits. In the state of Indiana, the limits are only for corporations and for labor unions. Beyond, and there's, I think they just added one other one. I forget what it is. It's relatively minor. But anybody else in the state of Indiana can give as much as they want to the political action committee, to candidates, etc. That's really nice in Indiana. I don't know what Kentucky's law is. So that's why you form a political action committee. One of the many reasons for it. You don't want to get fined, you don't want to get put in jail. And, well, why should libertarians do that? Well, I've got a philosophy, and I've got this long-term philosophy, okay? If you really, really want to go to the jail to the Libertarian Party, I will gladly defend you and shake your hand as they lead you away. But I'm not going to be the one to do that, because I'd rather be on the other side of the jail working to get libertarians elected to change things. I would rather be not fined, I'd rather use my money for other purposes. That's the decision I've made with election laws personally. Now, if you make a different decision, we're libertarians, fine, but that's what you do on that. I prefer to avoid that and use our money and our time for other things and other matters. So what's the benefit of a political action committee other than we may have to do it because of election law, either federal or statewide? Okay, I know this is being recorded, okay? Let me tell you a secret, and because I'm a lawyer, I know how to manipulate voice and stuff, it won't be on the tape recorder, okay? All of you are involved in your state party, your local parties, I'm sure, been involved with campaigns, and guess what? They're usually a cumbersome apparatus. Takes forever to make decisions, get things done, develop coalitions, etc. Well, let me tell you something, that's good probably for the group. But let me tell you something else, and that's what those things should do, and it should be cumbersome, and should have problems. But let me tell you about news media. If they wait for the group to get a consensus for 2 weeks, they don't care about you anymore. They want a decision now. Well, what does a political action committee, what can it do? Okay? I call them benevolent dictatorships. Now, I won't get into all the boring legal hocus pocus crap, but basically, I'm the majority owner of my political action committee. Todd Singer, who happens to be on one of the owners, is a minority owner. Todd, I respect your opinion, but I don't care. Okay? No, really, that's not it. And the people we have as minority owners, they're basically a board of advisors. But when push comes to shove and a decision has to be made quickly, I have the authority to make it and do it. Now, mind you, if I don't have support people like Todd, I'm not going to get things done. So again, I have that's kind of the checks and balances within the thing. If all the minority owners say, go away, I'm not going to support you, I'm alone and I can't get things done. But if you notice something, it allows things to get done quicker. And that's something that people should think about political action committees. And their purpose isn't to take over the state party or the local party. Their purpose is just another mechanism, another way to get things done politically within the libertarian movement. What's one huge benefit of a PAC for federally? There are prescriptions against what national parties can do in supporting candidates. It's the communicating with each other. I forget the term that they use about it this morning, but there's a common term used about coordination. There are all types of rules against coordination between national parties and state parties and PACs, et cetera, et cetera. What a federal political action committee can do is we can raise money, and Greg Nolan here, if he decides to run for Congress, we can give him money. We can raise it, we've got limits, we can give him up to $5,000, I think it is. And guess what? I don't have to get the Libertarian National Committee's approval to do so. That's not knocking the LNC, it's just, it's real easy. We've identified Greg as somebody who's doing things that we think are important, so we can help move the Libertarian Party forward by giving him up to $5,000 to do that. National Party can't even do that. Even if they like Greg, they say Greg's doing a great job, they can't. Can't coordinate, but we can help support candidates. That's a huge benefit of the PAC. And the other thing is, again, we can go